Welcome to Black Aristocrat, where kings and queens beam and get seen.
Yes! Black Aristocrat, we here! Yep! Yes!
Ashley, thank you so much for joining me and for taking time out of your day. I just want y'all to know that Ashley beat this face, okay? So if you see me with my looking fly with my makeup done, it's because Ashley did it. Ashley Pizzaro. Just so you know, I'll say it. So,
thank you.
Hey, tell me, girl, I saw you the other day. You had this humongous billboard on the highway, and I was like, what's up with that? Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so it's actually crazy because there's actually a backstory to that. Last year, I actually created a vision board with that billboard. So I actually drew it out.
Wow.
Not knowing like anything about it. I just was like, let me draw it out. I want to be on a billboard. And on the billboard, it literally said everything that was on like the real billboard like a year later. So I want my billboard to be on a major highway, right? 22 major highway within like the Lehigh Valley. And then I put like, I want to put #1 spa lounge in the Lehigh Valley. It was on there.
Wow. I create one every year. And you said yours came to fruition about a year later. But I think that they work all the time. So it's so exciting to hear that you actually planned for that. So tell the folks, tell us how are you from the Lehigh Valley? Are you a transplant like me or?
So I was actually born out here in Allentown, Pennsylvania. And then I lived out here for a couple of years. And then my family had moved to Florida till about like my junior year of high school. So I was about 16. My parents ended up splitting up. So I had a choice to either stay in Florida or come back to Pennsylvania with my mom. So I chose to come back with my mom. So my mom, just a little backstory about that. My mom was an immigrant from Colombia. So I'm Puerto Rican and Colombian. So they were married for like 2 decades. And she just like took care of the home. My dad always was the worker, provider. And when they split up, it was just like a tug. Like I just need to go with my mom, just be there for her. And also just be with a woman. You know what I mean? Because I'm still young. So I ended up coming back here with her. And looking back at it, I'm like, if I always say this jokingly, but I feel like it's really true. Like if I decided to stay in Florida with my dad, I don't even think I would be where I am today. Because Florida is just like a whole different life. Like I always joke around and say like, I would have had like 5 kids by now. I don't know what I would be doing with my life.
The
but
stories they say. Yes, right, being a Hispanic. Puerto Rican and Colombian, baby makers. Yeah. It's like terrible, literally. But people, they say that. So that's why truth. You're like, I hate saying it.
Yeah, it's the truth.
So what part of Florida?
So we lived in like Tampa, and then we lived in like Wesley Chapel for a little bit too. So we're just always in between those 2 little areas.
Okay. Well, the Lehigh Valley is certainly lucky to have someone like you.
Thank you.
By the way, Ashley, I don't know if you mind me saying this, but I think you're in your 20s still?
Yep. I'm 26 years old. I started my business traveling as a makeup artist since I was like, I started from like, it's crazy. I started from like a bedroom. Like when I was with like my ex-partner at the time, it was like our room, there was a corner. And I was just like, I think I was like almost right out of high school. So probably like 17. I've always admired like my sisters and my moms. They were always into beauty, like they would come with these crazy eyeshadow looks, and I'm just like, oh my God, you guys are so beautiful. And I was so young, so I was not allowed to like put makeup on, but I would just like lust over them, like, oh my God, your makeup is fire. So it's crazy because I ended up pursuing like the little things that they did. So I feel like they implanted those little seeds into me without knowing.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, it's just wonderful. And so that, how long have you been in business here in the Valley?
So I've been in business, I would say about like 7 years, just starting off as like a freelance makeup artist, and then starting to like get hired at salons, dipping into like different things in the industry, lashes, brows, going to school to get my license to become an esthetician.
Yeah. So that's exactly that's a question I had. Did you actually have to go to school for makeup and be taught, or did you have most people are most makeup artists are artists anyway, right? Or folks in the beauty industry, there's some sort of artistry that relates to that. Did you go to school for that? And, so kind of, can you give me a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, of course. So I didn't go to school for makeup. I was more like an at-home learner, YouTube University.
Yes,
you know
honey,
I mean?
Yes, YouTube University. Don't hate.
Yep. So I would just learn. I learned a lot from that. And then I noticed that I was actually better on other people than I was on myself. I'm like, oh my gosh. It's like, I see it as like when I'm doing makeup on others, it's like a blank canvas, like a painter, like an artist. So I was just kind of, I was just doing that, YouTube and everything. And then I had a hard time getting into school. It was just so many trials that I went through to get to school. I should have went to beauty school back in 2016, but it was just so much. I went through like 3 schools. Wow. It was just so much. But my main thing was like, if you guys are not going to teach me how to do makeup like better than I know, then I don't want to come.
Right.
So I was like putting it off for a while. I did end up taking a class in New York. I think her name is Makeup by Jasmine. Beautiful makeup. And I just was like, I want to learn more and how they do it. So ever since I did that, I was so like pulled to like wanting to take different courses in different states and bring it back to the Lehigh Valley. So if you ever see how the New York makeup artists do it, they do amazing. Wow. So I took a one-on-one training with this amazing makeup artist out there, and she just like taught me so much. And I just came back confident, and I was like, okay. Then I learned that I had to go to school if I wanted to continue to like do makeup and other stuff. And I was like, okay, I just need to go and like get my license. I don't care if they like don't teach me what I need to know, because now I know that I could go and venture other places and just take those courses.
Wow. So what I'm hearing you say is that you made a tremendous amount of investments in yourself. I'm sure these classes that you took, they weren't for free, right? To go and work with these amazing makeup artists. And so kudos to you for investing in yourself. And that's something that a lot of people just fail to do. They won't take the course. It's one thing for us to watch the YouTube University and get what we get, but to go and follow through and get that extra coach and get that extra class and get that extra learning. That's just powerful in and of itself, that one, you didn't quit when you had the obstacles with the school. You didn't just turn away and say, oh, I'm not going to get my professional license. You went ahead and got the professional license and continued to learn. Yep. So that's pretty amazing. Yes. And so tell me a little bit about me and you. We met right before COVID started. It was that Valentine's Day movie theater gathering.
Yes.
And my goodness, so at that time, I'm not sure, catch me up, I met you at the salon, but I'm not sure if that was your salon or someone else's salon.
Yeah, so it's kind of funny how that happened. So my purpose was never to like work in a salon. I just always wanted to travel and like be freelance and just kind of be my own like boss. So this particular salon owner, she reached out to me numerous times before that. Hey, I want you to work for me. Love your work. Love your work. And I was like, no, not interested. I kept pushing her off. So one day, she texts me, I think, out of nowhere. But she texts me as, like, if she was a client. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking I'm just talking to a regular client. She's like, hey, I need you for a Sweet 16 today or tomorrow, something like that. And I'm like, okay, send me the address, send me this. I still didn't know where I'm going, right? So I pop up and I'm at the salon and I'm like, is it here? So then I come in. She's like, oh, hey, it's me. And I'm just like, oh, it's you.
Whoa.
Yeah. So I was just very surprised. One of her makeup artists canceled. So she needed someone to like fulfill, this Sweet 16 event. So I did all their makeup and she was like, wow, you did such an amazing job. She has such good energy. And she was like, I know we talked before and you like, she was just so persistent.
Yes.
Like, I still want you to work for me. Mm-hmm. And I was just like, and at that time, I think I was like in between jobs or just very unhappy with what I was doing. And I felt like it was like God telling me like, this is what I want you to, what you're going to do. Because I remember just being at home before that and was just like, I don't know, I really want to do this makeup thing. And then for her to give me the opportunity, she gave me that opportunity on top of like, hey, if you want to make some money, I could even have you in here as my front desk girl. Mm. And I was like, okay, this is definitely coming from God because I think I left the job at that time that I was just unhappy with. And I was like, maybe this could fill that in and I get to do what I love, which is makeup. So I took the opportunity, worked with her right up until COVID when we met. But yeah, so it wasn't my salon, it was her salon. And then I started like seeing more of myself, taking more courses. I'm like, I could really do this, by myself.
Wow.
But yeah, it was like right before, me and you met, literally is how everything went down.
Yeah, it was such a godsend. And then COVID was just something that just shocked us all. And then I was thinking, oh my goodness, what would I have done if I was in the salon, still at that time? Mm-hmm. Because, I had a background before I became, a lawyer and a real estate broker in hair for many, many years. And I'm like, my goodness, I guess we would have had to transition. What was that like? What did you do? How did you survive during COVID?
Yeah, so obviously it was mandated all salons like shut down. Mm-hmm. No ands, if or buts. And it's crazy because right in between that time before COVID happened, I was already doing like, I started taking people at home and at the salon. So I started becoming split, like going there, having clients at my house. So I come from, my dad just always working hard. I can't sit down. Like, that is my problem. I have to be working. I have to be moving something. So when COVID hit, the salon owner was like, oh, you could just like apply for unemployment or something. And then because you were a receptionist there too. So I'm like, okay. But me just to sit at home was just like, I still was like, I can't just sit at home and like collect money. That's just not in me. I have to be doing something. And it's crazy because around that time too, I was leaving a really bad toxic relationship. Like,
oh, wow.
Really bad. So when COVID hit and you're living with that person like every day for hours, it was just not good. So like God just kept telling me like, just be still. Like, just you're not going to work. Cause I was like, oh, I'm just going to find a warehouse job, something. Like, I have to like keep myself busy. And he just kept telling me, like, just relax. Don't go for a job. Don't do anything. Just stay home, relax, take your clients. And I was just like that was just so hard for me. So I'm just like, okay, like, I'm just going to trust God. And that's when my relationship started really forming. Because I was always in church since I was young, but I never felt like I had a relationship with God. Like, really? Because I was just like in church, but I didn't care for what they were saying, or maybe at the time I wasn't understanding it. And my parents would always be like, you know, you got to get up. You got to come to church with us when we were young. And then once we started getting older, they were like, you know what? We planted this seed in you. It's your salvation, not ours.
You go if you go. Yeah.
So I'm grateful for that they planted that seed into me, because that is when everything started coming up. Because after my parents were just very strict, I was like, you know what? I don't care. I'm going to just do my own thing. Never really had a relationship with God, I feel like. And then that's when it really started forming, because when I tell you things like miracles, like things that you would not even think of. And at this time, I was also in beauty school.
Wow.
So in that program, I had to pay, it was like $7,000, $8,000 out of pocket. You can't do FAFSA, nothing. So all the clients that I would have,
wow,
I would save money just to put myself through beauty school.
Wow.
One day, and I remember telling my best friend this, and she was like, oh, you have to be joking. Because it was just like, God was just blessing me after blessing. And I would tell her these things, and she's like, no, you're joking. This is like, no. Like, it's like, doesn't make sense. And then one day I remember I got like, I owed the school left like $4,000 or something. I got back pay in my bank account for this exact amount I needed to pay my school off.
Look at God. Look at God. Listen, I done seen him show up in my life like consistently and constantly. And I'm so grateful. And so Ashley, thank you so much for sharing the trials and tribulations. Like that, I just know that will speak to someone. And I just know that inspiration to just keep on going is just so important, because from what you told me, it didn't matter that you couldn't get the financial aid or fill out a FAFSA. You still had to contribute to your education, and in order to do that, you provided services and then use that money to pay for you to get through school, and that is an amazing story, and that's the reason that I asked you to come to the show, Everything's Coming Up Roses. I asked you to be here because I knew that you would inspire the youth. You're in your 20s, you're young, you're getting it. So let's talk a little bit about your salon. Let's talk about your new salon. So how long has the salon been open?
So we're going on 3 years in July. It will be 3 years officially having like my own storefront salon.
Gosh, that is that's a lot. Yeah. So, and so at the salon, just tell us a little bit about it.
So my salon is called Lovely Faces Spa Lounge and Master Academy. We offer lashes, brows, facials, makeup services, body waxing. And it's called Master Academy as well because I also teach my skills. That is something that I wanted to also be able to offer, is just me by taking all these courses and classes and seeing how much it did for me and changed my life and impacted what I do. I also wanted to be like an imprint in other people's life who are coming up within the beauty industry, whether they feel like, if this is something they want to do or don't want to do. I'm that person that they're able to come to and just learn like a plethora of things, not just lashes, but brows, makeup, whatever they want to learn in the beauty industry. That's what I do. I also went back to school last year to get my esthetician's license teacher so I could teach in the state of Pennsylvania. So that is also something I do, and that's another passion of mine that I'm really committed to. So that was another thing that I definitely invested in.
I love that. So years ago, when I was in cosmetology, like over 20 years, that's what I did. I did hair, but then I went back and got my instructor's license.
Really?
And I keep it to this day. I actually had to fight the state of Pennsylvania when I came back to Texas.
Yeah.
They didn't want to give it to me. I had to go to court and do this whole long drawn out thing. not because I'm even practicing, but because it was my license and I wanted it and I wanted to keep it. And
no,
so,
it's good.
yeah, I did. I took them to court and everything. It's so crazy just to keep my instructor's license.
Wow.
Now, do I use it? Absolutely not.
It's good to have in your back pocket, though.
Yeah, so it sounds like to me that what I'm hearing from you basically is that you teaching is just become something that's really important to you. The school? How do the folks who want to register for the school? How are they able to get financial aid, or do they have to have is it self-pay? And what type of courses do you offer?
Yeah, so I don't offer financial aid. I do offer afterpay because that's financial aid.
Hey, afterpay
so
works.
Yeah, in a way, financial aid. So I do afterpay payment plans, but I also try to keep my prices at a reasonable rate. Because I know that investing in beauty school is a lot in itself. Whether you're a cosmetologist, you're investing 20 to 25K just to get your license. And if you're an esthetician, you're investing 7 to 10K into that. So I try to keep it at a rate where people can afford it. There's people who also want to just see how it is. They don't even know if they really want to pursue it. So I do offer that. We do lash classes, brow classes, makeup classes. And then facials is more something I leave for the aesthetic side. So we do offer that as well. I did also just recently, 2 months ago, I just dropped my first lash online course because I want to be able to reach other people in different states, different countries. I'm also dropping a body wax class as well. So I'm trying to look for pretty much the pain points within the beauty industry that you don't really get taught in school. They don't teach you how to do a Brazilian wax.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
And They still don't. And she's been going to school for, a long time ago. She has been there. So I'm just I'm trying to figure out the pain points and seeing what do people need that I can give to them as an esthetician and as an instructor. So I'm dropping the body wax class very soon. It's already done. Just needs to be dropped, obviously. And then I'm just going to keep going from there because I get to reach, again, just other people who cannot physically come to me. Not only people in different states, but people who are moms. They don't have time to come to the salon and teach, learn a class. I'm trying to reach out to people who also don't have the transportation to come. So it's just a nice thing. You could just be at home, learn a new skill, get certified in, and then make your money back double or triple. Okay.
Yes, I think. Listen, that is amazing, and I believe me, I am a connoisseur of everything beauty. I mean, from the waxing to the brows to the permanent makeup to the everything. So I appreciate it. And it's such a needed service, and it's so amazing that you've taken it to the next level and you are instructing others, bringing it to them, and just the fact that you're thinking about other people in that way just shows that you just are just this amazing individual, and you just have such a bright future ahead of you. And you spoke a lot today. We covered in this conversation a little bit about some of the setbacks that you've had. So since you shared that, I didn't know if there was anything else that you wanted to share, or just some words of encouragement that you might want to give to a young lady who's been maybe sitting on the fence about pursuing her goals or her dreams as it pertains to beauty or anything.
Yeah, thank you. I did cover a lot. And appreciate your time, even inviting me to be on your podcast. I really appreciate that. Yeah. So my words of encouragement would be, and this is what I say to everyone, is if you're scared, that is the perfect time to go after what you really want to go after. And just get your feet wet a little. It might be something that you may feel oh, I don't know if this is going to work, or I'm just too scared to start. I'm too scared to go into a different industry. And that is when I tell people, like, if you're just scared, that's the perfect opportunity to do it, because you have to be scared, you have to be uncomfortable, and it will reward you forever.
That is just wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so I just want to know if if all things being equal, what does an ideal life look like for Ashley Pizzaro? And I say that question to say, I don't know, what does that look like? Are you living it right now, or do you have some other plans that you'd like to see come to fruition?
Yeah, so I love my life. I do say it's like a dream life. Right now, obviously, there's more things that I want and that I'm literally trying to pursue. It's just working on being more consistent, more disciplined. That takes like a lot of work. So I'm just focusing on that right now. But I do want to be able to travel more. I do want to be able to travel and teach in-person classes in different states. I want to be able to franchise my salon. I would love to be just in different states, like, Lovely Faces in, Texas. Atlanta.
Yes.
So those are my goals and my future, endeavors.
Listen, you are off to a tremendous start. Can you please tell the name of your salon and where it's located at here in the Lehigh Valley?
Yes, so my salon, again, is called Lovely Faces Spa Lounge and Master Academy. We are located in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, 813 Linden Street, salon number 12. You can't miss it. We have a big pink sign outside in the front and on the side of the building.
Ashley, thank you so much for coming and spending time with me today. One of the things we like to do at Everything's Coming Up Roses is give the folks who deserve it their flowers. You are absolutely a phenomenal young lady. I have not seen many in their early 20s who are doing such amazing things, and then on top of it, giving back to others. And I just wanted to take this time to give you your flowers.
Thank you. Thank you. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us. Be sure to subscribe right here, right now to our YouTube channel. You can also follow us on all socials at Alisha Melvin ESQ and #BlackAristocrats. Thank you so much for joining us.